I now get it. I now understand why when you got that promotion, you were quite skeptical about letting your family and friends know. I now get it that when your business is now starting to perform well, you don't want them to know that you've made super profits. I now understand why you got a job offer, but you don't want to tell anyone. Welcome to another episode of People and Money Podcast. I'm Ivy. Let's go. The reason why you don't want anyone to know that you're now performing well in terms of money is because you are scared, you are afraid that they're going to ask you for a loan. Yeah, let's be honest. I don't know if you've come across people who you told that you got a promotion and that you got a salary increment, and the next thing that they're thinking about is how they're going to borrow from you. And of course, they're not going to pay it back. And if they're going to pay it back, it's going to take time. It's going to be a roller coaster of you following up. I've seen and heard of such cases. I've had people write to me about such cases, and it's not something that is new under the sun. Also, cases where you've been unemployed for quite some time, and immediately you tell people that you got a job offer. They are asking you for a loan. Like, they're asking you for a loan on your first paycheck. And the excuse that they do, or they try to manipulate you emotionally, is that you now have a job. They don't have a job, so you are somehow obligated to help them. There's that. I've also heard of such cases. I've read of such cases, and I have been a victim of one. Who knows? You see, one thing that I've come to realize is that lending money to your family and friends is not a bad thing. It's a nice way of having people be there for you, or you be there for them because they were there for you. But the issue comes in on just any other type of debt where you lend out money to someone and they don't pay you back. In fact, lies and debts are intertwined. They are like this. We come up with lies to extort money from people in the name of debts. I'm calling it extorting because some people have the audacity of borrowing money from you once. They don't pay it out. You let it slide because they are, family. They are friends. You're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm employed. Let me just help out. They take another loan from you and you're like, okay, this is the final time. And you try to remind them of the initial loan that you loaned them. And the third time they try calling you, you don't want to see their phone number. You've even saved them as the person with debt, because you already know their narrative, you already know their story, that, of course, this time I'm going to lend them money and they've not paid back. What's even worse is the little debts. Like, do those pinch you? You lend someone like 300 bob, let me just say even 500 bob. They're like, need to me to say, send me money just right now. In fact, I'm going to pay you back in the next 1 hour. I'm in the supermarket. My M-Pesa line is not working, and I need to pay this. And out of the goodness of your heart, you go ahead and lend them, and you just forget about it. You know how difficult it is to follow up on small loans, like a loan of 500 bob, 300 bob. It's sort of embarrassing to you, yet you're the one who helped out. Following up with those 200-300s, 1k, 500 bob is quite difficult. You even feel ashamed, yet it's your money. So you just let it slide. And the second time, the same person comes to you, they're like, okay, now lend me 20,000. They even have the audacity. I don't know if it's audacity, but I like that audacity, because such audacity can take you places. You're like, you know what, Mike, send me like some 20k right now. Like, I need to do this. There's a business deal. And in the end, your friend doesn't return your money. Following up is a process. There are those types of debts. I was thinking about that today, and I just wanted to help you out, or for you to even help me out in terms of how we can learn to manage debts, especially friend and family related debts, because we don't want to ruin the relationship with our loved ones. They'll be there for us at a certain point in time, but we also don't want to drown in debt because we've lent out money to them. That type of idea. So I have like several tips that I can share with you. Let me share them with you, because I even had to write them down, on how you, as somebody who lends out money to family and friends, you can manage that spiral of debt, and how you can just manage debts in general, not the ones that you owe, but the debts that other people owe you. So the first one is lie to them. Lie to them in a good way. I mean, okay, we've done that. And I even feel guilty telling you to lie to them. But it gets to a point because they lied to you by telling you that akinitumie like 500, akinitumie like 3k right now, I'm sending it back. Akinitumie 100k right now, kuna hii biashara, once I make something, I'll pay you back like immediately, and they just run away with your money. Those guys lied to you. So lies go hand in hand with debts on the liar side. So what if you are somebody who has been a victim? This time you decide to tell them, I don't have any money now. Yeah, I don't have any money now. Precaution. This only applies to those types of people whom you lend a lot of money to, and you know very well this is a scam, and they've not yet paid out the first loan, and they have the audacity to ask you for another loan to top up the other loan, and they're trying to make you feel guilty, and you know very well based on the history of this person they're not going to pay back that loan. So in that case, you also lie. You say you don't have any money right now. You're looking into it. In fact, you leave it to infinity. I'm looking into it. I will let you know. And you don't let them know. Of course, they're going to nag you. You know what? Again, I mean, honestly, if you've lost your money once, if you've lost your money twice to the same person, you're going to lose it thrice. And the fourth time and the fifth time, if your gentle heart won't learn to say no. So say no. Not this time. I know you might go ahead and tell me, sometimes it's like it's really genuine. My question is, yes, it's a genuine request, but if I were to come to you, I've lent out money to you the first time, the second time, the third time, and you have a history of not paying back. If it's genuine the fourth time, I am now numb. In my head, in as much as it's honest, it's genuine, all your cases have been genuine. All the 3 other cases have been genuine, and you didn't pay out that last time. So why would I believe you that this time it's genuine? And even if it's genuine, you made it seem like it's not genuine based on your history. So just say no. The second solution is don't announce anything good that happens to you in terms of you getting a promotion. Let them figure it out. Let them figure it out. Or don't even tell them. Don't even bother to tell everyone, hey, my business is doing well this month. I made $1 million. Like you've even told them the number. I made $1 million this time. Don't do it. Let them figure it out for themselves. Because when you do that, you are attracting those people who like borrowing money from such kind of people. There are guys who just wait around to see that you're doing well. They borrow money from you with the intention of not paying it back. They just want to like pinch you. Like, why would this guy get a job? I've also been looking for a job. I don't have any job. Like, there are those people who, in as much as they are in your inner circle, they don't really want the best of you. They'll borrow money from you with the intention of not paying you back. Let them figure it out on their own. And when they try to tell you, how much are you making? Just say, just enough. Just enough, It's a daily hustle. It's a daily hustle. Just lay low. Tell them, it's okay, let's just see what comes. Let's just see what comes. That's another tip that I got from a friend. So thumbs up to that friend who gave me that solution. I think it's going to work. It will definitely work. This actually reminds me of a friend of mine who got a job after a 1-year break of not having any job. And he came to me, he was telling me, Ivy, I actually lent some money to a friend. Do you think they're going to pay it back? Who did you lend the money to? To a friend. And I told him, just tell the person that you don't have any income right now. But he told me that his friend already knows that he has a job, and there's that expectation that now you're doing well, you are entitled to lending us money because you can't use the excuse that you don't have a source of income. Just even think about that, the level of entitlement that we have to someone, to a friend who is now doing better off, that when we see them, we just see a loan. And they must give us that loan because they are doing better off than we are. Just think about that level of audacity that we have as friends, as family members. I think it's about time that if you are that type of person, if I am that type of person, I need to have grace for my friends and be happy for them and not try to pull them down just because they're doing better than I am. Learn to keep your monetary successes to yourself. Learn to do that. The other way to handle friend or family related debts is from a comment that I saw from a post that I did here on YouTube. Only lend money you don't mind losing. The relationship is more important than money. Usually when I lend to friends and relatives, I assume that money is gone. If it's repaid, I'll be pleasantly surprised. If not, it's okay. We've reached a point where we have accepted that when we lend out money to family and friends, we're not going to be getting that money back. If that is the case, if you've had such a similar experience, then only lend out money you're willing to lose. So if a friend is calling you and they're like, Mike, send me some 20K right now, like I'm paying it back, and they have a history of not paying it back, just tell them, for now, I have 2K. That is if you're willing to lose 2K. Tell them, like right now, I only have 500 bob. Let me see if I can get that to 20K. It's difficult right now. I can only give you 500 bob. Such a scenario, you're like, I've given you this 2K. You've promised to pay back, but at the back of my mind, I know you're not going to pay back this 2K, and I'm okay with it. In fact, if you pay back, I'll be like, okay, oh, you paid back your loan. So only lend out money that you're willing to lose, because there's a high likelihood that you're not going to get that money back. True story. It was during COVID and I was sitting next to this beefy man. He had, his body was well built with muscle and fat. Our mouths were covered with masks. Since we were in traffic, he was telling me a story about his friend who almost went to prison, but he chipped in because he sent 100,000 Kenyan shillings to his friend to pay for the fines. And as a result, he saved the day. That's not the issue. He was a good friend. The issue was his friend disappeared with his money. He tried calling him. He was unresponsive. And what's even interesting is the lies that his friend told him. Because when he was in court, he was telling him, you send me this 100K, I have a business somewhere. Once I get the money, once I'm out, I'm going to pay you back your 100K. In fact, I'm going to make like 200K and I'll pay you back your 100K. So no worries, just help me out here. He does that for his friend because, I mean, what type of friend does that? Helps out, sends you 100K. What friend do you have right now whom you'll be like, I'm almost going to jail, just send me 100K right now, and they do that? What type of friend does that? That's a true friend. But the audacity that his friend would run away with his money and keeps postponing the payment period. This faithful friend took money from his business income to help out a friend because he was expecting his friend would pay back. And he wasn't even asking for an interest on top of that. This is money that he planned out. He was telling me that he wanted that money for his kids. He was also planning to expand his business. This money being out there was impacting him. And if I lend you 100,000 Kenyan shillings and you don't pay me back, I will scream my lungs out. I could see some warm tears forming around his eyes when he asked me, do you think this guy will pay back? And I was brutally honest. I don't know why I was that way. I said no. That money is gone. Forget about it. And I actually felt guilty for saying that. I wish I wasn't that honest, but I was, because based on my experience and probably your experience, you've had such a similar case. You help out a friend, they don't pay you back. It's common. And in fact, loaning 100,000 Kenyan shillings. So if you are a type of person whom a friend goes out of his way to help you out, especially when you are in need, pay back the money. At least pay back 10%. Next time, pay back 20%. Next time, pay 30%. So that next time, if you are in such a similar situation or in a life or death situation, that friend of yours can trust you with 100,000 Kenyan shillings, can trust you with 2,000 Kenyan shillings, can trust you even with 200 shillings. The other solution to lending money to friends and family that you know very well are not going to pay back is to delay sending the money. Give it some time. Someone calls you and they are urgent. They're like, send me money now. I need this right now. You know very well out of the goodness of your heart, you're going to lend them money. At least delay it. Don't send the money immediately. Give it some time. Give it some 2 days. Tell them, please allow me to look for the money. Please allow me to follow up with the money that is in my circle. I'm following up with that. Or don't even say circle. You don't have to explain. Just tell them, give me some time to see if I can get the money. You see the language, if I can get the money. So you're basically telling them you might get it, you might not get it, just give me some time. Because what happens is, if someone calls you the first time, they're like, it's urgent, you send the 2K. Then they call you, it's urgent, send me 10K. Next time they're going to have audacity to tell you, it's urgent, send me 30K, which is not wrong. If somebody has a history of paying back the money, you can just lend them. But just try as much as to delay it, because I learned that when you delay something, it also gives them the time to think of an option. Probably within those 3 days that you've delayed sending the money, they'll come up with something. They'll come up with a better solution for that, so they won't even need your money. Also, you're trying to break the habit where you're seen as the cash cow. You're the chairman. Somebody thinks that you just have money stashed up somewhere, lying idle, such that when they call you, you're like, okay, let me get this 5K, let me send him. Like, you're just seated with money. Money is within you. They can call you at midnight and you can send them money. So try to do that, so that they also don't take it for granted. Because once you keep sending money immediately and you make it a habit, they start taking that for granted. As someone who has borrowed money from friends and family, I would advise that you pay back the money on time. If you're the one calling, asking for money, at least be courteous to pay back the money. Even if it's going to take time, at least pay back the money, so that you are able to build a good credit score. In case you ask for that 5,000, they know, okay, she asked for 5,000, I know she'll pay back. Then the next time you need 20,000, someone can send that money to you, because they now trust you, because you have a history of paying back the money. So pay back the money, because that money doesn't belong to you. And if I was to lend you money, I was planning for that money. Just decided to pause my plans for your sake, because you're my friend, your family. And finally, I would also love to know how, as someone who lends out money to people, how you manage that, especially to your friends and family. I would love to know that. Share some tips in the comments. Help out a brother, help out a sister. Thank you for watching. Like this video and see you in the next one.